I'm going to explain to you how to do your lactulose breath test. You have been asked to do this because you are likely suspected to have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, otherwise known as SIBO. So the test comes in a kit. That is what the outside label looks like. Everything's backwards because it's a video. And a box with a lot of materials. So inside the box contains a shipping label, which when you're all done with your collection, it'll go back in this box and you'll ship the whole thing off. It contains a number of tubes that you'll be collecting your air samples into, and labels so they can be appropriately labeled with which sample is being collected, and a collection device, which is in this sealed container, and when stretched out, it looks like this. I'll be showing you how to use this in just a second. You'll be also inside your box is a concentrate of lactulose. So this will need to be mixed with water and is described how to do that inside your instruction packet. So make sure that you read your instructions completely before you start. It has in here diagrams of how to go through the test in addition to the collection timings. The total test takes 3 hours to do, so make sure you're planning this on a day where you don't have to go anywhere. So the other thing it contains is diet instructions. Now you can't read it because it's backwards. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to eat for the 24 hours prior to the collection. You're going to have chicken baked, no seasoning on it, white rice, eggs, and clear broth. And then for the following 12 hours, you got 12 hours of that food and then 12 hours of no food or anything at all, which most of that time will be while you're sleeping. And then you'll get up in the morning and you'll do a baseline collection of just your air, and I'll show you again how to do that in a moment. And then you will drink your lactulose solution, and then you'll start the timer, and every 20 minutes you'll be collecting a breath sample for 3 hours. So how you do the collection, this is the most important part of all. So when you blow on this, basically your air is going into this bag and through this tube. So as I'm blowing, the air is going out the side. So what we're going to do, now your tubes are clear, this is just a sample, yours will not have purple on it, but for demonstration purposes, we're going to blow. I'm going to place the tube in, not stop blowing, I'm going to continue to blow and then take it out, and then I can stop blowing. So the whole time the tube is inside here, it's got a little puncture device. So when I push that in, it punctures so that air can go in here. What we don't want is to have this, like right now, if I puncture this and my air is not blowing on there, the ambient air is all going into the tube and that sample would be damaged. So what we want to do instead, with a tube that's never been punctured, is you blow, push, keep blowing, take it off, and then stop. I'll show you like this. Stop. So that's correct. What you don't want to do, that is wrong. That will cause a damaged sample. That's one of the most important things. And so you'll do that for the 3 hours of the collection. So one final thing I want to explain, there's 2 different ways of marking your tubes. So on here it says the date and the time, your name, it says SIBO, lactulose, or fructose, which is backward again, but you will mark the SIBO spot, and the date and time. So they tell you to go through and mark every single one of them before you start. I did this test on myself, and I was concerned with getting confused with which tube I was doing, which one's done, because once you blow in it, it looks exactly the same as all the other ones because it's just air. What I did was create a strategy so I didn't have to remember which one I'd done because it was all in a rhythm. So I did my first collection, let's say it's this one. I blew, and then actually what I did was I labeled it. I labeled this one, and then I blew, and then I put it back in the box. I went and I put it into the box knowing it was done. All these other ones are out of the box. And then I labeled the next one, left it on the counter with all the other unused ones, but it's labeled so I know which one's coming up. And then set my timer. When I came back, I blew in the labeled one, put it in the box, labeled the next one. So that way I was on a rhythm, and I just set my timer on my phone and it beeped when I was done. So I hope that helps to make things a little bit more clear and to prevent errors in doing this test, because we don't want to repeat it. So good luck.